I was at Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora, and that fight was an absolute mess. But it was really fun. It was really fun. It was really exciting. The atmosphere was amazing. Seeing Dalboy there, Arsenal losing to fabled Southampton. Oh, and the Saints. It was just brilliant. That was really good. So the fight itself was a mess. I feel bad for Deontay Wilder because the ref, what was going on there, everything was going Chisora's way. He had a knockdown that wasn't a knockdown given to him. He scored knockdowns that probably weren't given. His ring was allowed, his team was allowed to push him back in the ring, and his team were allowed to jump into the ring. He was unloading on Chisora at one point, absolutely unloading on Chisora. And the ref just decided to step in and go, whoa, 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 are you okay? And then let him carry on. We saw Wilder telling him he loved him before knocking him down. It was just a strange one, but ultimately, I do think Wilder won. I think Wilder won that fight in what was a very difficult and strange fight, but he did enough to win. He got the win. And it's kind of summed up Wilder's career. Look, he's not the fighter he once was, obviously. I don't think he's a million miles off. I think what we see is that's kind of his level, right? Chisora, who we say is beats an Otto Wallin, obviously beat Joe Joyce recently. Like just a decent level. I think that's where Chisora's always been. Fury beat him, and I think that's overinflated. That trilogy overinflated his value. We never saw Wilder in there with anybody of real substance, anybody really good. And every time he did, Parker, Zhang, Fury, he lost. Now he steps in there with Chisora, who's a rung below that. Close fight, but Wilder won. And that kind of sums him up for me. And same for the power. I see people saying, everyone says power is the last thing to go. Well, that just ain't true, is it? No, I think it is true. We saw Chisora really hurt. Chisora's just not a journeyman. Wilder's got all these knockouts, 44 knockouts I think it is, 43 knockouts maybe, against journeymen. Do you know what I mean? Very few high-level knockouts, because he padded his record. And this isn't me trying to shit on him, by the way, I'm just saying, just matter of fact. He fought so many journeymen, got knockout. So he's known as having the hardest punch in history, which, look, he can obviously rack. He's clearly got extremely high power. So when he jumps in there with somebody like a Fury, like a Chisora, he can knock them down. He can really hurt them. And Zhang has come out and said that how when Wilder did land on Zhang, it really hurt him. But we're talking about 260 to and up pound guys that are high-level boxers as well. High level. I'm not going to sit here and say they're world level the best, but they are. And that's why he wasn't getting knockouts. Wilder deserved that win. But talking about the fight, let's talk about it, right? The fight was an absolute mess. The first round set the tone for that. The first round, Wilder hurts Chisora. Chisora's team run in the ring. You can't do actually made a DQ. I'm glad it wasn't a DQ. Obviously, I was there, but it should have been. And that sets the tone in terms of Chisora being allowed to do what he wants to do. Wilder getting nothing his way. Then, Wilder lands a really good shot and it doesn't get called a knockdown. It just really set the tone for the fight. There was the corner pushing Chisora up. It was absolutely messy. And at the time, as I say, the ref just randomly stepped in as Wilder's unloading on him to just stop him. That was kind of really strange. As I said, it was a bad fight, to be honest with you, at times, but at times it was exciting. It was good if you enjoy it for what it was. And I think Wilder showed that he wants to be back. He showed that he wants to be at the top table, calling out AJ afterwards. He wants to be, and anyone he's lost to. He wants to be at the top level. It's just that there are levels now, and I don't think he's going to be at that top level. Chisora needs to retire. I don't think he will. I think he'll fight much lower down, maybe on Misfits. Obviously, he's signed by Misfits, so I can see him fighting on Misfits, but he needs to retire. If we're honest, Wilder probably needs to retire as well. Again, he won't, because after that win, he could fight Usyk, he could fight AJ. So he won't retire, but I think after that performance, I'd like him to. I think what we'll now see is Wilder basically has a decent chin and good power. And I think we've seen that that's kind of how he's always been. He has now got the opportunity to fight that old guard, the AJ, Wilder, Fury, and now Usyk's in there. That four are going to start mixing it up, I think, amongst themselves. So I think we'll either see Wilder versus Usyk next with Fury versus AJ, or Wilder versus AJ next with Usyk versus Fury. So Usyk, Wilder, Fury, AJ, or Wilder, AJ, Fury, Usyk again. I hope I'd rather see AJ versus Wilder and AJ versus Fury, and not Usyk versus AJ. Well, or Usyk versus Fury, to be honest with you. That's my thoughts on it, people. I'd like to see, and I think we will see, Usyk, Wilder versus AJ next. People don't know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and our stuff works, people. Peace.